Why do the foolish things people say or do still get under your skin? You tell yourself it's not worth it, but your heart tightens, your jaw clenches, and anger flares up once more. This isn't some major betrayal, it's the little things. A sarcastic tone, an indifferent shrug, a tajrubahu remark that shatters your moment of reflection. You didn't seek out this conflict, yet now your inner calm has vanished, stolen by someone who likely has no idea of the impact. Make no mistake, their lack of awareness isn't your burden to carry, but when you lash out, you're giving them the reins over you, not from their strength, but from the power you've surrendered. Now is the time to reclaim it and break free. You've come here because you want to stop getting angry over things that don't matter. You want control not over the world, but over how you respond to it. That's power. That's clarity. That's freedom. The ancient philosophers believed no one can hurt you if you don't allow it. Today, we'll apply that mindset to modern life. Imagine mastering the art of staying composed amid chaos, learning to respond as a man fully in command, not swept away by every trivial irritation. You're not facing this alone. Every resilient man grapples with it. If you're weary of being defeated by the insignificant, seize this opportunity to stand tall. Like this video, subscribe, and pass it on to someone seeking to restore their serenity. Let's begin. First, recognize the pattern before it controls you. You don't explode just because of one stupid comment. You explode because it's the 50th stupid comment, and you haven't noticed the build-up. That's the trap most men fall into. You think you're reacting in the moment, but really, you've been carrying an invisible burden all week. Picture the mental clutter from work demands, feeling overlooked at home, a flight delay that throws off your day, or an offhand comment that stings. You brush them aside repeatedly until one more absurdity pushes you over the edge. Boom, you erupt. Yet anger doesn't emerge unbidden. It builds predictably, and you've overlooked the warnings. Awareness becomes your essential shield. Anger isn't random. It's practiced. You've trained it daily by letting small things slide without addressing them. And when you react, it's not strength, it's overflow. You're not in control. You're leaking. And every time you blow up over something unworthy, you reinforce that loop. Stress builds quietly. Silence masks the rising pressure. Then explosion strikes, followed by lingering guilt. This relentless cycle persists until you identify it, monitor it closely, and decisively interrupt it. Envision your mind as a sturdy dam. Ignoring minor fissures allows tension to accumulate unseen. Then, a mere touch, a feather causes the breach. The true culprit isn't the trigger, but the unchecked flaws. The real fault is the cracks you never inspected. So how do you stop getting angry over foolish things? Start here. Identify the triggers that make you lose control. Track your habits like a strategist. When are you most impatient? In traffic, meetings, mornings with the kids, or your wife's particular tone? Note it down. Don't assume you'll recall these moments. They slip away easily. True self-awareness demands active effort. Like a deliberate strategy, this separates those who merely react from those who truly lead. Yet many err here, claiming I'm just hot-tempered as an immutable fact. That's merely an evasion, not your core self. Anger is a permitted habit, not your defining essence. And the Stoic philosophers had a word for this slavery, not to others, but to your own impulses. The man who can't restrain his words when provoked is ruled. That's not power, it's weakness hidden behind noise. So turn the tide. Instead of trying to control the external world, start observing your internal responses. Pay attention to the moment your body shifts, shoulders tense, breath quickens, jaw tightens. Those are signals. Breathe deeply. Step back. Don't let the trigger pull your strings. You're not a puppet. You're the architect. And each time you interrupt that cycle, even once, you're laying the first brick of emotional mastery. Want to stop getting angry over nonsense? Don't let foolishness catch you off guard. Anticipate it and prepare. Recognize it, and when it arrives, don't fear it. Smile, because now you're in charge. Not the emotions, not the absurdities. Just you. Steady. Resolute. Unshakable. Track those triggers. Don't hand over the power. Second, understand what you're truly angry about. It's not the spilled coffee, not the slow driver, not your colleague's tone. The spark, igniting your anger, isn't what's in front of you, it's what's already inside. Most men miss this because we're wired to react, not reflect. When you erupt over something small, it's not about that. It's what it represents. Disrespect, loss of control, buried stress, unmet expectations. That's the real battle. The storm beneath the surface. Anger is rarely honest. It shows up with the wrong label, blaming whoever's nearby. But deep down, it's often shame disguised as rage. Or fear hidden under frustration. You're not yelling at the broken remote. You're yelling because your day feels out of control. Your patience is hanging by a thread, and life seems to be slipping from your grasp. You're not snapping at your wife just because she forgot to buy something. You're snapping because work is consuming you, and no one sees the weight you're carrying. That's what the Stoics understood. Emotions aren't the enemy, but they lie when unchecked. Pause and ask yourself, what am I really angry about right now? Is it this moment, or everything that's been piling up? Most men confuse anger with strength, thinking a loud shout equals power. It doesn't. True power is naming the truth beneath the noise. That's recognizing that what you call foolishness in others is really your own disappointment. The Stoics believed if you don't master your emotions, they'll master you, and they won't even be truthful with you. You'll go around growling at the world, thinking you're tough, but really just reactive. Think of it like pressure building in a boiler. If you don't release it, even a light tap can cause an explosion. That's what happens in your daily life. You hold everything in disrespect from your boss, the sense of failure as a provider, the exhaustion of always being the strong one. Then a trivial thing sets it off. You explode and later think it was silly. But it wasn't silly, it was predictable because you never addressed the root. Don't blame the spark. Fix the fuel source. That means journaling what truly bothers you, not what you pretend does. It's tracking your stress levels instead of masking them with sarcasm or outbursts. It also means choosing clarity over rash reactions. Feeling overwhelmed doesn't make you weak. Weakness is letting emotions dictate your actions without questioning them. Be the man who probes his own mind, not the one blindly lashing out. Next time you feel that fire rising, don't just extinguish it, trace it to its true source. When you name the real cause, You reclaim control. In that moment, anger transforms from a prison into a message. Don't just feel it, decode it. Then, move forward on your terms. Third, stop taking everything personally. Most of what hurts you, about 80%, was never meant to detone. Your boss's curt email, he's buried under deadlines. Your wife's silence, she's wrestling with something deeper. The driver who cut you off, he didn't even see you. Most insults you feel are just echoes of your own expectations. When you make everything about you, you lose your peace effortlessly. That's not strength, it's emotional servitude. Anger flares when you tie your self-worth to every word, tone, or glance. It's like walking around with open wounds and blaming the world for brushing against you. But a man in control doesn't need every interaction to be gentle. He doesn't crumble because someone skips a morning greeting. He doesn't rage over a raised voice. He knows who he is. And that's enough. The Stoics called this strength apatheia, not indifference, but mastery, the power to remain unmoved by things beyond your control. Not coldness, but command. Where most men falter is treating every slight as a personal attack. Their ego is so fragile it trembles at shadows. A complaint at work, and they spiral. A small misunderstanding at home, and they explode. But your emotions don't need to be at the mercy of every careless word. Let others speak. Let them act. You're not here to react. You're here to lead yourself first. Picture a rock in a rushing river. The water pounds against it all day. Yet the rock stands firm. It doesn't take the current personally. That's who you become when you stop interpreting everything through a defensive lens. That's who you are when you realize most people are just projecting their own pain, not targeting you. It's not about you. It never was. Now, apply this next time someone snaps at you. Don't snap back. Breathe. Observe. Ask yourself, what's really going on here? Does this even involve me most often? It won't. Jot down those moments. If you must, you'll spot a pattern. Once you see it, you're no longer a victim of invisible battles that aren't yours. Self-mastery isn't silence. It's knowing when silence is strength. It's choosing not to swing at every jab thrown your way. When you stop reacting to every poke, you start responding with presence. That's the shift from being swayed by emotions to being guided by clarity. Don't take everything to heart. That's how boys live. Men know what to absorb and what to let go. Practice this daily. When someone speaks condescendingly, pause. When a stranger's rude, smile, not out of weakness, but because you're unshakable. You know your worth. Don't let noise hijack your mind. Don't let hurt steal your day. Don't personalize everything, own how you respond. That's where true strength begins. Fourth, ask yourself, will this matter in 5 days? Your brain inflates small problems when stress takes hold. A colleague's unanswered email, a driver cutting you off, your wife's offhand remark at dinner. Suddenly, a minor issue feels like war. Your mind spins a narrative, fuels the emotion, and before you know it, you're reacting like a spark just hit dynamite. But here's a truth. Most men overlook most of these moments, fade into irrelevance quickly, in 5 days. That email, that driver, that comment won't even cross your mind. Yet in the heat of the moment, it feels eternal. Train yourself to zoom out. Ask if this will matter next week. This simple question cuts through the fog of overreaction. It's like stepping back from a painting to see the whole picture. not just a smudged corner. When you realize most triggers are fleeting, you stop giving them power. You stop letting them hijack your peace. This isn't about ignoring problems. It's about sizing them up accurately. Practice this next time you're fuming. Pause and ask, will I care about this in 5 days? 9 times out of 10, the answer is no. That clarity lets you choose your response, not be driven by it. You're not dismissing your feelings, you're putting them in perspective. This is how you reclaim your mental space. It's how you stop letting trivial moments derail your day. You're not a machine, you'll feel the heat of anger, but you're also not a slave to it. By questioning the weight of each moment, you decide what deserves your energy. That's not weakness, it's wisdom. It's the difference between a man ruled by impulses and one who rules himself. 5th, master the pause. It's the simplest yet most powerful tool you have. When you feel anger rising, don't speak, don't act, just pause. That brief moment of stillness is your fortress. It gives you space to think, to choose, to steer your response, instead of being swept away by it. Pausing isn't passive, it's a deliberate act of strength. It's the difference between a knee-jerk outburst and a measured response. Picture a warrior in battle, not swinging wildly, but waiting for the right moment to strike. That's you, holding ground in your own mind, refusing to be rushed by emotion. Every pause builds discipline. Every moment you hold back sharpens your resolve. It's not about suppressing anger, it's about directing it. You're not silencing your voice, you're ensuring it speaks with purpose. Practice this when the urge to snap hits. Count to 3. Breathe. Let the storm pass. Then decide. This habit rewires your reactions over time. It turns chaos into clarity, impulse into intention. You're not just avoiding a fight, you're winning a deeper battle within. The man who pauses doesn't just manage anger, he shapes his character. That's the path to emotional mastery. There's nothing soft about pausing. In fact, it takes more strength to hold back than to explode. Yelling is easy. Staying calm when every fiber wants to react is the real challenge. That moment forges who you are. Each pause strengthens your discipline. It hones your resilience. It restores your control. So build the habit of pausing. Make it your default response. Next time anger surges, don't act. Don't speak. Hold the moment. Master it. Train yourself to wait. Then act with purpose. That's how you stop raging over trivial things. That's how you lead yourself. 6th, set boundaries to prevent frustration. You're not angry because others are unreasonable. You're angry because your limits are unclear. When you let people walk freely through your emotional space without boundaries, don't be shocked when they disrupt it. Think about your time, energy, and attention. How much is wasted because you haven't defined what's acceptable? We expect others to instinctively know what's okay. But clarity is your responsibility, not theirs. Men without clear standards react instead of led. Boundaries aren't walls to keep others out, they're filters to keep your mind steady. A man without boundaries is like a warrior without armor. He feels every blow, takes every hit, and eventually falls. You say yes to tasks you dread, endure draining conversations, tolerate hurtful behavior, then wonder why you snap over the smallest things. That anger isn't random. It's the build-up of every minor slight you allowed because you feared seeming rigid or selfish. But passivity doesn't make you kinder, it makes you resentful. and no one respects a man seething beneath a forced smile. The Stoics knew this. They didn't control others. They mastered their own limits. Marcus Aurelius didn't waste time appeasing fools. Epictetus didn't beg for approval. They knew where their boundaries lay and where the world began. That's true power. It starts when you declare, "This is what I accept. This is what I don't." No drama. No arguments. Just discipline. Look at your reality colleagues dump last-minute tasks because you never say no. A friend makes snide remarks at dinner, and you laugh it off instead of addressing it. A client calls at 10 p.m., and you answer, prioritizing a deal over your peace. That's not strength, it's surrender. Each time you tolerate, you chip away at your calm. Setting boundaries isn't rude, it's honest. You teach others how to treat you by what you allow. No need to argue or yell, just be firm. I don't take calls after 6 p.m. Don't speak to me that way. That's not my responsibility. Clear, concise, unwavering. Each boundary you set is a line drawn in the sand. Every line you defend builds emotional discipline. Don't blame others for crossing boundaries you never set. Don't expect foolish behavior to stop on its own. Expect yourself to stop tolerating it. Frustration fades when clarity emerges. If something keeps angering you, don't just vent, limit it. Resentment is a signal. Use it, track it, then set your rules. Your reason is built on your standards. Peace isn't someone else's job. It's your boundaries. So draw the line and stand firm. 7th, use humor as a pressure valve. When you can laugh at absurdity, you've already won. Not because the situation changed, but because you did. Anger shrinks when laughter rises. You're not avoiding the issue, you're diffusing it. Most men move through life like ticking time bombs. A foolish comment. A ridiculous email. A careless driver can set them off. But humor isn't weakness, it's a sharp tool for emotional control. You don't laugh because it's okay. You laugh because your peace matters more than the nonsense. That's power. The Stoics got this. They didn't bother fixing the circus. They refused to play the clown. A man carrying the weight of work, family, and expectations can't afford to lose his mind over trivialities. Nothing cuts through tension like a timely laugh or a subtle shake of the head. Recall the last time someone said something so absurd it made your blood boil. Now imagine watching it like an audience member, as if it's a comedy sketch. That shift changes everything. You move from participant to observer, from offended to amused. You don't waste energy reacting. You stay clear, focused, calm. There's a reason top athletes, firefighters, soldiers, and doctors use humor under pressure. It's not to escape, it's to disarm stress, clear fatigue, and stay human amid chaos. You don't need loud jokes, a quiet smirk, a whispered, "You've got to be kidding," or a mental eye roll does it. That's not apathy, it's mastery. Don't confuse this with sarcasm or veiled jabs that's just leaking emotion dressed as wit. True humor is a subtle, strategic detachment, a shift in stance. You're not provoked, you're prepared. You don't give foolishness your energy. You nod, breathe, maybe chuckle, and move on. That's how warriors operate. They don't rage at every pebble in their path. They step over and keep moving. In a world quick to explode, restraint is rare. Humor is your sharpest weapon. It reminds you, Not every battle needs fighting. Not every fool needs a reply. Sometimes, the strongest move is to laugh, shake your head, and stay on course. That's emotional strength. So next time the world throws you a "you've got to be kidding" moment, don't erupt. Smile. You're not here to entertain their chaos. You're here to master your calm. 8th, respond like the man you want to be. Your reactions shape or shatter the person you're striving to become. When someone says something foolish or acts out of ego, you have a choice: fuel the fire or forge control. Most men don't see how easily they lose their power, not to kings, but to clowns, a careless co-worker, a bad driver. A loudmouth at dinner pulls your strings like a puppet. That's not strength. It's surrender masked as fury. People think a real man reacts fast, hits back hard, never yields. But the strongest man in the room doesn't rush to respond. He chooses how to reply. He doesn't lose his cool just because others do. That's the Stoic shift, not letting the outside world dictate your inner state. You can't build muscle with one workout and expect it to last. Emotional discipline is the same. It's repetition, habit, choice. Every time you fall into the trap, lose your temper, or explode, you're training weakness. Now, flip it. Each time you're provoked, pause. Own the silence. See the foolishness with distance, not anger. That's not indifference, it's dominance. Like stepping out of a storm while others get drenched. You become the man who's unmoved, who doesn't explain himself, who stands firm amid chaos. This isn't passivity, it's strategy. Anger may be justified, but blind rage is just noise. You're either building your character or burning it down with each reaction. Instead of exploding, you hold steady. You ask, is this worth my energy? Does it align with the man I'm becoming? Your inner voice grows stronger as you choose purposeful responses over emotional outbursts. In real life, this plays out in meetings, traffic, relationships. You either escalate tension or become the steady anchor. You either join the foolishness or rise above it. Picture a father walking into a chaotic home, kids screaming, wife stressed, phone buzzing. The old you, irritable, loud, reactive. The new you, calm, composed, unshaken. Why? Because you've stopped reacting from ego. You're leading from identity. You're not just managing the moment, you're embodying mastery. The strongest version of you is quiet, focused, untouched by emotional turbulence. It all starts with a choice. Respond like the man you want to be remembered as, not the one who crumbled under pressure. So, next time a trivial thing sparks your anger, don't give in. Hold your ground. Think of the man you're forging. Then act as if he's already in the room. Every moment you feel anger rise is a test of your discipline, not to punish you, but to sharpen you. You won't stop getting angry overnight, but you can train your response like a muscle. You can choose silence over fire, clarity over chaos. The man who finds peace isn't the one who avoids stress. He's the one who faces it with control. Your reactions shape who you become. You're not just managing emotions, you're building character. Emotional control isn't weakness, it's true strength. It's forged through small, consistent actions, daily awareness, clear intent, thoughtful responses. Use these tools as your training ground. Track your triggers daily. Breathe before you speak. Ask if your next reaction aligns with the man you want to be. That's the path. That's real power. If this message resonates, carry it through the week. Practice it. Refine it. Own it. And if you've ever let anger win or chosen calm, instead share your story below. Your growth could light the way for someone else. Keep practicing pause when provoked. Question your anger's source. Set clear boundaries. Each step builds the man who doesn't just survive life's chaos, but thrives in it. Unshaken and in command. Every choice to respond with intention, not impulse, is a brick in the foundation of your strength. You're not just dodging anger, you're crafting a life of purpose. The Stoics didn't seek a world without problems. They sought a mind that could handle them. So can you. Take these lessons and make them your own. Write down what sets you off. Pause before you react. Ask if your response reflects the man you're building. That's the discipline that transforms you. It's not about perfection, it's about progress. One deliberated choice at a time. If this speaks to you, live it this week. Test it in the heat of the moment. Master it over time. And if you've faced a moment where anger took over or where you chose peace, drop your experience in the comments. Your story might be the spark that guides another man forward.